So as I said before, today we're going to talk about articles, indefinite articles, and in, and definite article, the definite article, the. When should we use one and when should we use the other? Let's see. If the noun of the sentence is general, not specific, but general, we have to use indefinite articles. And the indefinite articles that we have in English are a and n. Okay, so a and n are indefinite articles and are used to indicate a single item. Let's see some examples. Take a pencil. Take a pencil, or take one pencil. Why are we using a in this case? Why are we using the indefinite article in this case? Because we are talking about something general. It's not a specific pencil, okay? It's not a specific at all. It could be any pencil, all right? I want $100 or $100. So in this case, means one, like it's the same. The translation in Portuguese is the same, right? Pegar lápis, eu ganhei $100, but in English they say like 100 or 100. It's the same thing, okay? But anyways, we are talking about something general, not specific at all, okay? So we should not use indefinite articles like a or an with a plural noun. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Like we cannot say they talked about a good restaurants. It is wrong. Look, a good restaurants. It doesn't make any sense at all because, as I said before, a in this case means uma, restaurantes, a restaurants. No, it doesn't make sense. It's wrong. It's incorrect. Okay. So again, if you want to make an unspecific reference, we can say they talked about a good restaurant to visit. A good restaurant. We're talking about something general, not a specific restaurant. A good restaurant. We don't know which restaurant is that, so it's not specific. Okay. But if we want to make a specific reference, we can say, for example, they talked about the good Italian restaurant on Main Street. Oh, so here we have some information about the restaurant. So that's why the definite article the is being used in this sentence. They talked about the good Italian restaurant. So we already know that we're not talking about like, it's not any restaurant, but a specific restaurant, the Italian restaurant on Main Street. So here we have some specific information about the restaurant. So that's why we have to use the definite article the. That's basically the main difference between definite articles and indefinite articles. Indefinite articles are used to talk about something general, and definite articles are used to talk about something specific. All right, let's take a look at some further information. Oh, when should we use a or an? Okay. We use a as an unspecific reference before a consonant. Okay. Look, he likes to read a book. Oh, okay. Before a consonant. So the word, the noun that comes after the article starts with a consonant sound. In this case, the B sound. Okay, book, a book. And we also talking about something unspecific. It is not a specific. It's a book. Like we don't have any information about the book. That was a funny story. Okay, the word or the noun that comes. It's not a noun in this case, it's an adjective, but the word that comes right after the article starts with an F sound. You see, that's why we have to use a instead of n. Okay, a funny. It's not in funny, no. A funny story. Okay, funny. Again, we are talking about we don't have any information about the story, so it's general, it's not a specific. That's why we have to use the indefinite article again. All right, and that's it. As I said before, we use when the word that comes right after it starts with a consonant sound. So let's take a look at some further examples. A book, a hospital, hospital. Okay, there are two ways to pronounce the word age in English. The first one is this h sound, and that it can also be silent, but we're going to talk about it later. A leg, leg. Okay, the word that comes after the article starts with a consonant sound. In this case, the L sound. Okay. A 1-inch pipe. Oh, you have to keep in mind that it's not like an actual. It doesn't need to be an actual consonant, but it needs to sound like a consonant. That's why I said consonant sound. It needs to sound like a consonant, okay? And we use N before vowel sounds. Keep in mind that what really matters here is the sound and not the letter itself, okay? So let's take a look at some examples here. An apple, an opera, an eagle, an idea, an SOS. But look, S, it's a consonant. But as I said before, what really matters is the sound. Look, S, S. Right here, it sounds like a vowel. E-S, S, S. N-S, N-S. All right? What really matters is the sound, not the letter itself. An SOS, okay? Let's take a look at some further information on how to use or N, the difference between consonant sound and vowel sound. Words that begin with U or H can have either a vowel or a consonant sound, as I said before. Okay, make the choice based on the sound of the first word after the article, even if that word is not the noun. Okay, what we have to keep in mind, what we have to focus on is the word that comes right after the article. It could be a noun. In most cases, it's going to be a noun, but in some cases, it can also be an adjective. But it doesn't matter. Just focus on the word that comes right after the article. Union. Look, U. It's a vowel, right? But we are using a, and a is used for consonant sounds. But the word, the letter U in English has two sounds. When it sounds like a you, just like the pronoun you, I, you, like union, uniform, what else? University, for example. It is considered a consonant sound. For some reason, it's considered a consonant sound. All right, so that's why we have to use a union, a uniform, okay, a university, and so on. And the other sound, the other U sound that we have in English is like unbelievable, umbrella, okay, for example. And we have to use N because it's considered a vowel sound. U, consonant, a vowel, okay, an unbelievable event, an umbrella, a unique umbrella. What really matters is the word that comes right after the article, okay? Look, unique, it sounds like U, so it's considered a consonant sound. We have to use a. And honor, look, age is a consonant letter, but in this case, yeah, it also has two sounds, just like the letter U. It can be ha or it can be silent. When it has this ha, he, this sound, it is considered a consonant. And when it's silent, it's considered a vowel sound. Let's take a look. And honor, it's silent. So the first sound that we hear when we pronounce this word is the letter O, which is a vowel. So when the H is silent, when we don't pronounce it, the first sound of the word that comes right after the article is considered a vowel sound. So that's why we have to use an honor, an hour, an honest person. But look, hotel, history, historian. Oh, so in this case, the H sound is being pronounced and it's considered a consonant sound. So that's why we have to use a hotel, a history book, a historian. Okay, so far we have just talked about indefinite articles. Okay, so now let's take a look at the definite article, the, and it's used to talk about something specific. All right. If the noun is specific, we use the. Let's take a look at some examples here. Use the as a specific reference to a common noun or something that is one of a kind. Let's see how it works. Give me the book on the shelf. The book on the shelf. We're not talking about like any book, but the book on the shelf. We're talking about a specific book. So that's why we have to use the definite article in this case. All right, give me the book on the shelf. The sun rose at 7 o'clock. Why are we using the definite article here? Because there is only one sun. Okay, it's one of a kind. And we use the as a specific reference to a common noun or something that is one of a kind. The sun is a good example of something that is one of a kind. Okay. So we can use a or an, the indefinite articles, to introduce a noun the first time it is mentioned. And after that, we can start using the definite article, the, because we have already information about it. It has already been mentioned. Let's take a look at this example right here. I bought a sandwich for lunch. Okay, it's being mentioned. The sandwich is being mentioned for the first time. So that's why we are using the indefinite article a. But after that, we have already some information. The word sandwich has already been mentioned. After that, we can start using the definite article the, because we are talking about this sandwich that has already been mentioned before. All right, so for the first time, we mention it, we use a, and after that, we use the, because it has already been mentioned before. All right, I bought a sandwich for lunch. I shared the sandwich with my friend. Okay, so first of all, we have to use the indefinite article just to mention it. And after that, we can start using